Welcome to the Mad About Wayne podcast from the Wayne County Historical Society in Wayne County, Georgia. We hope this time together is informative, educational, and maybe even a little entertaining. Mad About Wayne is brought to you by ProSonics Audio Engineering. Now, let's get into today's Mad About Wayne podcast.
Okay, here we are again with episode 10, Mad About Wayne, our podcast that we started in conjunction with the Wayne County's observance of America 250. We've made it to July 4th coming up, just a few days away. And we're doing, going beyond that. We're going to keep going with our Mad About Wayne podcast and just keep doing things as they come to us. If you have a suggestion, if you find one of the podcast crew, if you want to hear something special that we could cover for you, let one of us know and we'll see what we can do. Episode 10 is going to be special, talking about small town families and things that Pam likes to do, like Tuckersville and Waynesville and all those kind of things. Pam, tell us who you got today that we're going to be hearing from.
Okay, well, I'm super...
Oh, Pam Hughes, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, okay, so I'm super excited. I have Miss Emma Lou Todd Thompson with us, and what I'm excited about for this podcast is, one, it's the first topic that Courtney Tyre didn't know anything about.
Yay.
Yeah, I know. She was like, what's that? And so I'm super excited because she knows everything. And then Miss Emma Lou, the other thing that I think is super special is that a lot of the things that we have talked about, people can go and research for themselves and find it. But these smaller communities that were built in Wayne County and created these, clusters of communities, you can't find a lot. And so we are so fortunate that Miss Emma Lou has given us some of her time today. And she's going to share because Toddtown is all about her family. And so she's going to tell us about her family and what was Toddtown and just share some memories with us. And I'm just super excited. So thank you, Miss Emily.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here and tell something about my mom and daddy and my little brother and my hubby. I guess Toddtown, Georgia was founded in 1950. Our parents moved here in 1950 and bought a little house out at what is now known as Empire, a little tiny wooden house. They built a little grocery store that hooked onto that house, and my mom and daddy started moving houses back in the day when people moved houses down what was then a dirt road. They would buy a house, have it moved out there, renovate it, rent it for it was like a rent to own. I remember people paid $25 a month. And amazingly enough, every one of those houses, with the exception of one, is still on that road. And a lot of the descendants from the original Toddtown folks still live in those houses. One of my favorite stories is we used to get our mail Toddtown, Georgia, no zip code. I would surely love to have one of those envelopes, but at the time it wasn't anything you thought about keeping,
So it wasn't, you didn't have like an official post office, but some of those communities, that's, because the mail would go, and so they would just collect it in Toddtown and pass it around.
That's right.
Which I thought was really cool.
Everything got left at the store. Yep. Daddy always promised we were going to get a red light, but that never happened.
You never got it.
We never got that red light.
I tell you what, you about need one now.
Yeah.
To pull off at Empire Road.
Yep.
We can always look on eBay. eBay has some strange envelopes on it, so we'll hunt you a
Toddtown, Georgia. That would be great.
I'll look for one.
I'd love to see that.
So one of the other things is Union Brewery Station, when they went out of business, they gave us some things. And so there was a little glass jar, and it said Shed's Dairy on it. So I was sharing that with Miss Emma Lou, and she has a smaller jar. And so, Miss Royal, I gave her the big jar to go with the little jar.
Yes.
So tell us about Shed's Dairy, because she remembers that.
Yes. There was Shed's Dairy and Phelps Dairy. Shed's Dairy was where Jessup Premium Storage is, I think is the name of that place. It's going into Jessup on the right, just before you get to Habaneros. And Phelps Dairy was at the brick building there where Healed for Real is now. Yep, and the milkman delivered milk to Mama's little grocery store every single morning. I have one of those little pints. I guess that's, pints, with the cork stopper still in it that says Shed's Dairy. And then Pam was so sweet to give me the one from the brewery station that I have sitting right there with it that's a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Yep.
I figure it means more to somebody who experienced it and lived it. Than
Excited.
I don't remember Shed's Dairy.
Shed's Dairy.
My best memory of Todd, we called it Toddville, and this would have
That's
been
too fancy.
in the early 70s. And Mr. Cameron was the bus driver.
That's right. He sure was.
And we called him Helium Foot Cameron because he would not press the gas. We came, and my Uncle Walker and Aunt Merle lived down what's Canterbury Road now, Walker Rogers.
Right.
And if you got in trouble on the bus with Mr. Cameron, he turned around and took you back to the school. And so we always prayed that somebody would not misbehave before we got off because everybody went back. You know, he didn't play favorites. He turned around and went back to it was the junior high on Plum Street.
Mr. Aubrey Cameron.
Aubrey, I didn't know his
Aubrey
first
Cameron. Yep, I was in the first grade, there wasn't kindergarten or anything. Then first grade, I was the only kid in my class that was 5 years old. Everybody else was already 6. My fondest memory about Mr. Cameron is school starting and me getting on that bus that first morning, and my mom and daddy still allowed me to suck my bottle at the age of 5. So naturally, all the kids on the school bus laughed, and he let me sit on his lap first day of school, riding the school bus.
Lord, I didn't know he had a kind heart.
Yes, he did. That was
I'm
my
glad
last
to
day
know
on the
that.
school bus with the bottle.
Now, what was your? Do you remember what your address was? What the street? I wonder how you got your mail. Route 1, Box 2, something probably, or.
I remember it was Route 2. I
Route
think
2.
it was just Route 2, Toddtown, Georgia. I don't remember a box number.
That probably came later on when there was more. So what else was around there with your mom's store and
Mama's little store. Robert and I had ponies that they bought us, and all the little kids came to ride ponies. The store was the gathering place. Every kid in the world came from Toddtown, and Mama gave everybody free candy. There wasn't a whole lot going on in Toddtown. Not a whole lot.
So I did a little research. I told you today that I had kind of researched it. So tell me how your parents, because they came from Ware County.
Mm-hmm. They did.
So
They came here when I was like a year old. And my daddy sold cars at Walker Chevrolet for up 10 years, and Mama ran that little grocery store. Robert came along in 1956, which is the year they built that big brick house in the forks of the road there. Robert was born in 56. They built that house in 56. They helped to found Fellowship Baptist Church with everybody else in Toddtown in 1956. A lot of things happened then. Yep.
yeah, and so we still your parents still have a legacy, because you can tell us a little bit about the rodeo and your rodeo days and Robert's rodeo days.
Yep.
Your family had some influence, and there was a lot going on.
We stayed
y'all were
busy.
busy people.
We stayed busy. Yep. The William Todd Memorial Rodeo was founded. Mom passed away on January the 1st of 1999, which would have been mine and her daddy's 50th wedding anniversary. Anyway, that rodeo was founded on Mother's Day weekend in 1999. And nobody in the world believed that was going to work. Robert said to me, "Sister, you finally lost it. Nobody's going to come out here and sit in the heat. They want to go to the indoor buildings and see the big rodeos." So that first year we probably had 200 or 300 spectators. And have already kicked off this year, getting ready for the 28th annual William Todd Rodeo. And the only way that ever worked is because the community supported it. We give the net proceeds away every year in scholarships at the high school in Mama's memory. Now it's in Mama's memory and Robert's and Harry's. But it never would have worked if the community had not supported that. We were real proud of the rodeo, still are.
Well, speaking of the rodeo, Miss Emma Lou, Mark has found a little something to help bring back. See if this brings back memories for you.
It's that time again, folks, where the pavement ends and the West begins, celebrating 25 years in Scriven, Georgia. The William Todd Memorial Rodeo, presented by Mike Birch Ford, October the 11th and 12th. Gates open at 5:30. Rodeo starts at 8 o'clock. We'll have bull riding, bronc riding, calf roping, team roping, barrel racing, steer wrestling, and all-time favorite cowgirls breakaway roping. Entertainer this year will be Colt Hart, rodeo extraordinaire, with the specialty act coming all the way from South Texas, be the Faithful W Ranch Riders. They'll be doing several tricks. Be a good time, fellowship, family. TNT Arena, 361 Hortense Road, Scriven, Georgia. See you there.
Oh, yes, that is our little nephew, Art Todd, welcoming Mama to what was then Mama's 25th annual rodeo. The 28th annual rodeo is coming up this year.
Where did you have the first one?
In our backyard, right where it is now.
Right where it is
Yep.
now. I could
In our
remember
backyard.
the Westbury racetrack.
Yes.
Would
Well,
that have been considered Todd?
Nope, that's
no,
not
okay.
Toddtown. That's right there.
Okay.
Nope. Toddtown's not until you get to what's now the Empire Store and turn down
Okay.
Empire Road there, yeah.
Who were your neighbors?
Who were our neighbors? I tried to think of that today. The first house there was our Aunt Sheeny, is what we called her. She was my daddy's sister. Aunt Sheeny, her real name was Emma. I was not named after her. The next house was the Brookers. The next house was the Powers and the Franklins and the McBees and the Andersons and the Rosiers and the Evers and the Yarboroughs and the Johnsons.
And Emma Lou said she ain't got a memory.
I know.
Well,
I was just thinking.
And I just said ain't in
She
front
just
of
went
me.
down.
That's all right. I had to stop
I
to
can
think about
remember
that.
Martha Johnson, but I don't remember Martha Johnson's husband's name.
David.
David. She worked at the bank with Mama,
Yep. That's right, exactly.
and that's Reggie Beasley's grandparents.
Oh,
Right.
Those are Jane's parents. I remembered them.
And
But,
that was the end of Toddtown.
That was
Yep, that
okay.
was the end of Toddtown. Yep, they were the last house in Toddtown.
so when do you think it faded out of no longer being called Toddtown? Like, or do
I
you
have
think
no
the people that
clue.
live there still remember, their parents calling it?
I certainly would think so, yes, because like I said, a lot of the relatives from those original families
Are still there?
still live in those houses. Yeah. I would think they would remember that. I don't know how it got away from that. Perhaps when we got a zip code or a box number or I don't know.
When they did the E911, when they changed over to where thought you could call and they could figure out where you were to send help, we had to change from the rural routes then into street addresses.
Oh,
And we had to remember we
remember
had to
that.
call 911.
On the rotary
tell 'em-
phone.
Yeah, tell them who you were and all that stuff, so they'd know who was calling in, so they could set up the whole system. Because I remembered Granny Bennett,
right.
Tommy Lee Bennett, but she lived in Scriven on what is that? Not is that Joyner Street? Don't tell them I can't remember where Granny Bennett lived. Yeah, Joyner Street. We had to go over and help Granny Bennett do her 911 check, and I wonder if that's when. Maybe that's, but I don't even know how long ago that was, because she's been gone a long time. But my husband John, his mama's house was Route 2 Box 258. But then it turned out to be 106 Harris Street.
I never knew why they changed it because we always had a route number, but I didn't know that was the reason.
And
they
now
changed
with
it.
Homeland Security and all the badness in the world, everything has to have an address. Everything has to have a physical address so they know where everything is, so they can, if something
Okay.
happens, they can figure out where it is and where to go. So that we lost a lot of our rural feel. And so I think the communities, like you were talking about with Empire and Madrid Springs and Crossroads and
Yep,
all those kind of things, they were clumps, family clumps.
Yeah.
they were.
And that was the same thing with what we called Toddville and Toddtown. I can remember walking from Uncle Walker's house to the store.
Really?
But, it was a 2-lane road.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Was there a flower shop? Did somebody have a
That was Mrs. Puckett right down here.
Okay.
On the other side of Westbury Racetrack. Yes, that was Mrs. Puckett.
and
there
she
was
had a
flower
okay,
shop.
I remembered a flower shop, but I didn't remember who or where.
Just
But
on
I
the
can
other side
remember
of Racetrack.
walking to the store. But it didn't look anything. You can sit here, right here where we are now, and watch the cars go whizzing by.
Oh, yeah.
But it wasn't like that back then.
84 was a 2-lane, and that little road that turned off at Mama's store was dirt forever. I mean, it was years before that road was paved.
I don't really remember it being dirt, but I have to go back.
Well, you're not quite old enough to remember all that.
I'm Robert's age. Robert and I
Well.
were in the homeroom the whole time together, Todd and Toodle.
Todd and Toodle. That's
Todd and Toodle. So he was always so polite. Just so polite. I with Miss Janet, like I wasn't the same age as him. You can knock that stuff off. And then there's Arthur Robert, but
Alfred Robert.
We're going to go. Alfred, okay, I get on.
Robert.
I'm going to tell this story. It doesn't have anything to do with Toddtown, but it has to do with the Todds. I taught him in the 6th grade. I hope he listens to this.
We'll make sure he does.
He went do his homework. So I called his daddy. And he hasn't forgiven me yet.
I believe it or not, I've heard him tell that story.
Oh my gosh.
I've heard Robert tell it and Art tell it. Yes.
I didn't make but one phone call, and Art, he was on the spot. He never had any other
in trouble.
conversations with that going on. He's so cute. Even if he is, I don't know how old Art is, but he's the cutest
He's
thing.
49. Art's
Man, y'all
about to
telling
be
all this
50.
man's secrets.
About to be
No,
50.
no, we're not going to go there.
When Art was born, he was born with he's Robert's only child. Harry always says that Art's the child I never birthed, that he thinks I just had him out of wedlock and gave him to Robert because I wasn't married. But anyway, Art was born with something called transposition of the great vessels. And we shipped him out from here when he was less than 12 months old. We stayed in Augusta for the first 6 months of his life. He immediately had open heart surgery as soon as we got there. And for the first, 12 years, maybe 10 or 11 years of his life, we were back and forth to Augusta all the time to the Children's Hospital. They finally told us, I'll never forget this, they told us to bring him home and treat him like a normal kid because he was never going to live to be a teenager. Anybody knew my family believes in the power of prayer. And he's going to be 50 on July the 26th. So,
Yes, that fits right into it, that he didn't think he was going to have to need to know how to do math. I taught him math.
yep.
Oh, okay.
so-
And he's very good at it now.
Yes, he is. He had
Very
a
good at
wonderful
it.
teacher.
He certainly did.
Called his
He
daddy.
did.
So,
I've heard that story from both of
I
them.
love those memories. And fellowship, who can you remember any of the pastors?
Yeah. There was a preacher Purcell there
Okay.
when Daddy got baptized at the age of 60 at Flint Branch Creek down there where that is. There was a preacher Purcell there. I don't remember who was in between that, but Preacher Charles Manning was the pastor there for ever and ever. We love Preacher Charles. He is a good man.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Good man. He loved my family. He would tell me after Mama was gone, Mama's house is right next door to Harry and me, and he would tell me all the time, now, if you see tracks over there in the yard, it's because I go to Granny's house every once in a while and swing in her swing. He's a good soul. Good soul.
And your parents were from where county?
Well, that's where my mama was originally from Bacon County,
Bacon.
and Daddy was from Ware County, yeah, and I'm not quite sure how they happened up on each other, but they were only there like a year after I was born and came here. Yep.
So, do you have anything else that you want to share about Toddtown?
Not that I can recall. I think the worst whipping I ever got in my life was inside that little store. There was a neighbor. Her name was Donna Rozier. She's
Oh, my
Donna
God.
Harper now. And all the kids were playing, and she made me mad about something, and I spit at her through the screen door of the little store. And Miss Todd, Emma Lou spit at me. And so here comes Mama. She said, did you spit at Donna? And I was like, no, ma'am, I did not do that. And she said, well, what's that hanging on the screen?
Oh, gosh.
And every time she whipped me, every time she hit me, I'm not hitting you for spitting on her. I'm spanking you for lying.
Yeah.
Worst spanking I ever got in my life. Ever.
Donna Rozier
I didn't lie about spitting anymore, I guarantee you that.
is my son-in-law's grandmother. And Miss Sally Mae
That's right.
used to keep Dana.
That's right. Exactly.
Oh, no, your mother. Who kept Dana?
Both of them. Mama did. Dana and, what's her brother's name? I just went brain dead. Dana and
David. Is it
David. Dana and David. Yeah, Mama babysat them, and Sally Mae babysat them.
And she loved her like her. And she took him to the Dairy Queen.
Yep,
Oh,
that was probably Mama, because Miss Sally Mae was working at the shirt factory.
and that's Miss Sally Mae was a Martin.
Right.
And that's why my grandson he looks like Brandon.
Does he?
But he's a throwback to those Martins. He looks like, and well, Dana, if you look at Dana, she's going, here we are. Sally, look at Miss Sally Mae and look at Dana, and through here, they look like twins. But
Yep.
Jackson Tyre looks like a Martin. And I told Dana that. I said, I think that Jackson is a throwback to Sally Mae. And she said, well, my granny sure loved my son. And so that's a good hello from Miss Sally Mae with Jackson, who talks all the time. He wakes up talking and he goes to sleep talking, asking questions. But he looks like Brandon Tyre. But I can remember Dana talking about her. Now, she called her, did she call her Granny too?
She called my Mama Granny. She and David both, yep. A lot of people call Mama Granny. Harry called Mama Granny because everybody else did.
So I can remember. I had forgotten that connection was there, but I remember it now. But I remember she always liked, on Friday they went to the Dairy Queen, like it was it was a big deal when you got to go places like that. We didn't go.
We didn't get to go anywhere.
No,
Except riding around on Sunday afternoon after church.
Yeah, and there wasn't a Burger King,
Right.
and there
That was probably a good thing.
and the town ended. Jessup ended where the strip mall where Planet Fitness is and Bell's Outlet. That was the end of town. So by the time you got this far out, you were in another community. You were in Toddville or Toddtown.
Yeah.
You had Miss Puckett's dairy. Miss
Yep.
Puckett had cows. I didn't know where the shed dairy was, so I'm glad to learn that. But I've seen some shed stuff before. And then, of course, we got the Phelps. Joe's house is
right down there. Yep, just
Right
before
down
you
there.
get to the Empire Store.
And that's Harold Phelps.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's that family. So I didn't know that. See, look, I've learned something.
You've learned.
On a Mad About Wayne
that, Janet. I
podcast.
thought you knew
We're
it.
so impressed with,
all of that.
I'm like,
with us.
dang, man, I found somebody that Courtney didn't know something and Janet didn't know something.
I didn't
I'm
know.
knocking it out of the park.
Moving on,
today.
girl. That's right.
I didn't know the geographical location. I knew it existed, but I didn't know what. So I think we got a shed milk bottle in the Heritage Center.
No, you don't. I gave it to Miss Emily.
Oh,
Yep.
there wasn't one before?
Happens to be on the
Oh,
kitchen
there may
table.
be one before, but the
Really?
one I
Okay.
got, I gave to her.
Okay.
I just
And I
made
was very
good.
grateful.
I made an executive decision.
That's all right. You
Very
and Courtney, I've told the Press Sentinel that you and Courtney are over the Heritage Center, so it's going to be in black and white print, so y'all
Oh,
can't
good
deny
Lord.
it now.
Where's
Well,
the
listen,
Heritage
The Press
Center?
Sentinel prints
The
it. Must be
Heritage
true.
Center is, where Madge's place, the red caboose is?
Uh-huh.
So the Heritage Center is behind it. It's the little white house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Well, you need to go and
I've
visit.
learned something.
Yeah. You'll
Yeah.
have to go and visit it.
I
So
will.
Janet said on our text message, oh my gosh, Emily can talk about the doctors. And so
Oh, my
we
goodness.
can transition because for those of you that don't know, Emma Lou Thompson is, some people say she is the face of Wayne Memorial because I think she's been there for how many years, Miss Emily?
Longer than any of you are old.
Okay.
Oh, no, that's
Yeah.
not true.
A long time. But
March the 13th
I
of
think it'll
1974.
oh my gosh. So when you transition, the last time they talked about doctors, they were talking about how Scriven had, who was the doctor that
Margaret.
yes, and so
Dr.
he was
Dr.
there.
Margaret,
So
Dr. Tyre. Dr.
Yeah.
Tyre was
Yep.
before Margaret.
and did he service Toddtown? Did you have somebody there, or what did y'all?
The best I remember, I had rheumatic fever when I was 3, and that's kind of the first memories I have of anything. I had to get a shot every day. It was horrible. And Dr. Harrell and Dr. Pompelli took turns coming to Mom and Daddy's house at noontime every day to give me that shot and to make sure that they got to eat with Mom and Daddy because she always cooked a big meal. And Daddy came home from the Chevrolet place.
Uh-huh.
So they got a home cooked lunch and I got an injection. Yep.
Yeah. So what do you want to know about the hospital? Because Miss Emily
All
knows
right.
all things.
Well, it was the hospital on First Street that was this one, the new one replaced. That was where it was when you first went to, not where you were born or where, was Robert born in the Richley Park Hospital in town where I was born?
No.
No.
He was born in what's the old hospital now that was on the premises where we are because they went in. That's not true. No, he was born in the old original Lee Park Hospital.
Okay.
Yeah, because the hospital moved the year after that
Okay.
into what's was then the new hospital, now the old hospital. Yep, that's right.
So you helped open it? No, you wouldn't have been old enough.
Nope.
Because you would have
Yeah,
been.
it's getting
She was
worse.
a baby. She had been there that long.
I was just doing the math. Remember, I taught math. I did it in my head.
74. No. They
I didn't
moved
even-
in
I didn't use my fingers or anything.
no, I didn't
So,
open
what
that.
year did you go to work at the hospital?
March the 13th of 74.
74. We were seniors in high school. We graduated in June of 74. So that would have been Dr. Hitt and Dr. Yeomans,
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Miller.
Yep, all of those.
I can't
Harold
remember.
Pompili, Miller, Hitt, Harper, Yeomans,
McGahee was here yet?
McGahee. Yes, we can't forget Dr. Hargret,
Dr. Moody.
Dr. Moody, Dr. Meadows. I wrote down the physicians' names in case you asked me this, but I forgot I had that little list. Dr. Meadows, he was there
Oh, I forgot about
in the
Dr.
surgical
Meadows.
arts building that they've just recently redone in the last couple of weeks. And I think it's so interesting because on the side of that building, they've left those old original letters, those wooden letters on there that says surgical arts building. And that was really neat of them to do that. Davis and Kennedy, Bennett and Parkerson. Yep.
I think I still have some Parkinson teeth. Still going all these years later.
Yep. I still have some Bennett teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now with the surgical arts building is the one on the corner by the Huddle House, or where is the surgical arts building?
On the corner there by Huddle House. Dr. Carter Meadows originally built that building.
Okay.
Yep.
And so the hospital has it back, or
No, we never owned that property.
Oh, you never owned that property.
Yeah, it belonged to Dr. Meadows, and I don't know over the years who's bought and sold it, but it's not a part of the hospital property. No.
I remember Dr. Hine, Dr. Williams.
Yes, Dr. Tom Williams. Yep.
He was a loss.
Pompili. Yep.
Who?
Pompili.
Oh, Dr. Both Pumpilly
Both.
Senior.
Yes.
So, I remember one time with my Sid, who I have a friend that's told me that she's 38 and pregnant, and I said, been there and done that. Call me if it's twins. And Sid had to have some work with Dr. Williams, and we were at the store. We were at WD's store in Scriven.
Yep.
Because he had an old Coke case, the kind that you open the lid like this and
Yep.
pull. And
With the glass bottles.
and Dr. Williams saw us
Yep.
and stopped and came to see how things were. I thought, how many times did the doctor stop
Yep.
to see what was going on?
Or make a house call and give you an injection.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
Dr. Hargret putting you in the closet and giving you a B12 shot when you went to pay
That's
your
right.
bill.
Exactly.
And the way we didn't talk very much about McGahee, the original Wayne family practice people, but when they how long was that hospital there? I don't even know.
The hospital that's been torn down since then.
Yeah.
They moved into that facility in 59, and we moved into the quote new building in 07.
Okay. That was a pretty good long time. I know I
Yes.
can remember Joe Davis saying if he plugged up one more thing, the whole place was going to go black.
Yep. That was an old Hill Burton hospital. We used to always say that it was as long as 2 football fields. Getting from one end of that to the other was a trip, but it served its purpose. And this community was just so wonderful to support the bonds for us to build that, what we call now, it's 20 years old, but what we call the new hospital. But yeah, we had gotten all the goodie out of the old one, I promise you.
And the old ER, remember you could go in the ER and they had a payphone
Yes.
hanging on the wall.
Yes.
And I remember that going, because my John worked there. He was X-ray tech, and he worked for Dr. Harrell. And I always blamed whenever John acts up. I know he doesn't listen to these, so he doesn't know how many times I throw him under the bus. But I used to tell Dr. Harrell that when John didn't do something right, he said all I did was get him started. I didn't keep him going.
That sounds just like you.
He was such a learned man. So,
Tell you,
Are we
sweet-
needing a break? Time to take a break and hear from our sponsor, ProSonics Audio Engineering.
The Mad About Wayne podcast from the Wayne County Historical Society in Wayne County, Georgia, is brought to you by ProSonics Audio Engineering. From radio and podcast production to the recovery, restoration, and enhancement of tape recordings, video soundtracks, and phone recordings, ProSonics Audio Engineering is your go-to for all things audio. For more information, call or text 912-297-9911 or email prosonics@icloud.com. ProSonics, the science of sound.
And we're back, and we're welcoming Courtney, who has made it in from the coast on a wing and a prayer. And we're thanking Butch Hubbard and Jessup Broadcasting for allowing us again to use the studio, WIFO 105.5, to do our recordings. Mad About Wayne, we do appreciate it. Great quality, great work from ProSonics. Yes, ma'am, Courtney?
Nothing. I was just going to say hello. I made it.
So while you were gone, you're going to have to go back and listen to the podcast to see how I busted you out.
Oh, my gosh. Thanks,
It was
ma'am.
exciting because when you're here, I never get to talk.
Appreciate you.
I always appreciate you. Always with those two. We while we were taking our break and hearing from our sponsor, we discovered that we really didn't do a good job locating Toddtown. And so we're going to get Emma Lou to tell us how to get there, coming from Wayne Memorial, from that direction. So tell us how to get to your mama's store.
84 West, and it's like 6 miles to what is now known as the Empire Store, and that's where Mom and Daddy's little house and little store was. And in the forks of that road, there's, a lot of that road went away when it was widened, but there's a trailer sitting there now, which is where Mom and Daddy's big brick house was that they built in 1956. But yep, 6 miles out, Highway 84 West, Empire Store, straight down what is now a paved road with 8 or 10 houses. On the right-hand side of that road is Toddtown.
Toddtown.
So is theirs the one that was like a 2-story red brick house right there behind it?
It wasn't 2-story.
Okay, because I thought there was one, and it had like a sliding glass door, but it's not there anymore, I don't think.
Yep.
But it's right there behind it. Anyway, okay.
Nope.
I didn't know that was named Toddtown. I'm sorry. See, I knew all this.
I know.
I was new to
Pam
this
has
when we were on the
already
phone.
I told the world you didn't know.
I know. Heaven to Betsy. Courtney doesn't know where something is. I'm sorry. No.
I think that's exciting too. But we lost so much with growth. We've lost all those little communities, and that was where our churches were. That's where our schools were. Did you always
Empire
go to school in Jessup?
Went to Empire in the 3rd grade. Yep. Had to ride the school bus to Jessup and get on another school bus and ride back to Empire School. But then I could get off at the store going back home. But yeah, Empire School in the 3rd grade. Mrs. Spivey.
Miss Spivey, that's a good Gilmer County name. See, I thought I can bring Gilmer County in. The Gilmer migration, they were there in the early 1900s, and this is where they lived. They lived in the Liberty Church area, and they went to Empire School, and they went to Oakland School. They picked which one they went to. They were about halfway. So I hadn't thought about the Spiveys would have been this close up, but. The Nichols too. You got the Nichols are down on down Empire Road.
That's right.
Down there on the left. So
when everybody's driving, to Scriven or going out that way, y'all can look around and think, oh, this is Toddtown.
We should have had a red light.
You should have had a red light. That's right. Absolutely. And then, go
I
ahead.
tell you, your daddy he might have been ahead of his time, but he knew that there needed to be a red light at that intersection because it's. I know that young people don't remember Frogger, but there was a video
I
game called
do.
Frogger, and you had to try to cross the busy road, and that's what it's like in the morning times.
Terrible.
People pulling out from Empire Road, and they're pulling out from the store. They're pulling out, and it's almost it's like you're dodging. You're playing Dodger. I was in Savannah this weekend, and I did a train tour of the Savannah Train Museum, and the guy that was the tour guide made a reference to Conan the Barbarian. And I thought, who in the world remembers Conan the Barbarian? Most of the people on the train were very young, but I didn't know they'd done a remake. So I don't know.
It wasn't very good from what I understand.
It wasn't.
No, it wasn't
Very many
Arnold.
people didn't know it. But anyway, that was Frogger and Toddville and all that. We call it Toddville.
That's
She
just
called it
too uppity.
Toddtown. But we're going to get on eBay and see if we can find a Toddtown envelope, Courtney.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
If we can do that.
That'd be awesome.
So,
I like hunting treasures.
so could you hear the train whistle from your house?
Nope, can't ever remember that.
The trains would have been right
Nope.
back over that way from the
Don't
radio. I don't know what direction that is. What direction is that?
Guess that would be
Going
south.
toward Garda, I guess. That's going to be south?
I guess.
Yeah.
Going towards the
So it
coast.
looked like you
Yeah.
could have heard the train. So.
I don't remember. the
Anyway,
trains.
and Fellowship would have been the church of Toddtown, and then as you went on down Empire, but it wasn't Empire. You hadn't heard that word, but Empire School you did go.
yes, to
So
Empire
you
School.
would have gone to Liberty Methodist and Liberty Baptist.
No, we went to
when you
Flint
got
Branch.
Went to Flint Branch.
Oh,
Okay.
Branch. Yeah.
That's next to Ayers' house.
Do what?
That's next to Ayers' house where Fabby Cats is.
And that's by Flint Branch Church.
Yes.
Okay. All righty then. All right, Pamela.
Well, on the break, Miss Emma Lou said she's got a really cool story about the telephones at the hospital.
Aw.
So
Sweet story. It's just, it's just an example of how we need to save not just our memories, but our old stuff. Harry always says our house looks like a museum. But anyway, we just need to protect those things that aren't going to be around anymore. But you mentioned the phone booths. So I was going to tell you a quick story about the phone booths. Harry and I had known each other our whole entire lives. Never had a clue in the world that we would end up married to each other. So he calls me one afternoon. We've been dating several months, and he calls me and said, I've made a dumb mistake and messed around and fallen in love with you. First time he ever told me that he was in love with me. And I said, you know how you just get this feeling? I said, where are you? And he said, walk out of your office and walk around the snack bar. So I walked out, and Harry is sitting in one of those old wooden phone booths with a dozen roses.
Oh,
So here
my.
sits Harry with a dozen roses in one of the old wooden phone booths. So when we were tearing down the old hospital, Joe Davis and I said, what are they going to do with those old wooden phone booths? And I said, I don't know, but I know one right there that's going to our house. So we ended up getting that old wooden phone booth that Harry was sitting in with a dozen yellow roses and took it to his art studio, and he had the whole thing redone, and it looks just like it always did the first time I could ever remember seeing it. So, and Joe Davis has the other one, so there were two of them.
that's
That's
beautiful.
what happened.
That's
so
Yeah,
beautiful.
he
Story.
saves things like that.
So
you know.
Mr. Harry was an artist?
He is. Yes, very much
So
so.
like a painter?
Yep, Western artist. Yes,
Oh, wow.
Western and ducks. Yep.
Well, you just got all kinds of stories. And
Whenever
I just was blessed.
when
Blessed.
John worked
Lucky
there,
woman.
he worked 40-hour weekends.
Oh
Dr.
my.
Harrell, and he was the X-ray tech, and then Donna Sue Hill was the
Yep.
lab tech,
Yep.
and they did everything. But I would take him food, taking meals. Wait a minute, I got to think of the Judy. There was an ER nurse named Judy, and Annette McCall,
Annette McCall.
and I
Yes,
can't remember
Annette and I are in
Judy's
touch
last
almost
name.
every day still.
Yes, I loved her. But one of mine, this is another story that just popped in my brain. I had taken them to, my sister Susan lived on the coast, and one of the boys, I think it was Rob, had cut his foot on an oyster shell. And I knew it looked bad, so I brought him to the hospital, and John said, let me go get somebody. And it wasn't Judy. I can't remember her last name. But anyway,
You've used up all my gray matter.
Rob, he went.
What
Said,
little
he
bit
said,
I
"Let
had.
me go get somebody," and so he went to the ER and got Judy, and he came back. And from then on, Rob thought her name was somebody.
That's
So
great.
we called her somebody from then on. And but
As soon as we get out of here, I'll remember who that is.
the phone booth story is that I came in the ER, to come in the back way to bring his lunch, and one of our former students was messing with the phones, and his mother had gone on in the back and left him out there in the waiting room, and he was here, there, and yonder. And I said, sit down and leave that phone alone and quit messing with these people. And he sat down and they said, thank God you came.
The teacher came right out.
Yes, I thought, what are you doing bouncing around this place? But there was always something going on, with the hospital. They all had really good rapport and got along. And I mean, I don't remember
Lots of
very
wonderful
many
memories.
fusses. I can remember some of the older nurses, like Miss Frances Sapp,
Yes.
who just
Yes.
passed away. My sister Karen worked
Sweetheart.
at the ER.
She sure did.
Karen got out of nursing school like 66 or 67, somewhere in there, and she worked in the ER. And your mama? Where did
Mama
she
worked
work?
there for a while, and then she got pregnant with me, apparently, and I decided I wanted to go to Miss Dart's when I was about 3, and Mama had to go back to work, and so she didn't go back to the hospital because she couldn't handle the shift work with me, so she
Yeah.
ended up going to the Omaha nursing home. But yeah, she tells me stories.
Which darts?
Oh gosh, if you hadn't, it was Nancy Grooms' mama,
Miss Dart.
Yeah.
Miss Dart, up there
Yes,
by
Pauline Dart's mama.
Presbyterian Church.
Yep.
Oh,
And
really?
I think, isn't it Presbyterian? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's now Fairhaven. That's where I went. That's where I broke my arm at 3. And then I went and Dr. McGahee bandaged up my arm, or he put the cast on, and I'm sure it might have been John that x-rayed it. I don't know. I was little.
It could have been.
I stayed in and out of that ER when I was little. I mean, all the time. Mom was like, they're going to call defects on me.
Because
I was
Brinkley said, my children are on a Rolodex up there.
Yeah.
We were.
And then when we were older, everybody's mamas worked in the back in the OR, and so we would, somebody's got to go by and go get some money. And we were talking about that the other day, and we talked about the phone booths. And I told Mom, I said, at this new hospital, you can't do what we used to do. We'd
No,
walk straight
no.
through there, walk to the back, go
Yep.
to the break room right outside the OR, and we'd wait for whoever's mama to come out of surgery, and we'd get whatever, and we'd walk right back out.
Think nothing of
Oh,
it.
and the
Yes.
snack bar. We lived on Clover Street by that time when I was junior high and high school. And, when we were at Uncle Walker and Aunt Merle's, we went to the Todd store. But when we were at home, the snack bar at the hospital was where we
Wonderful.
went.
Oh, it was good.
Yes.
We didn't
Great
have a
ham and
Friendly
cheese sandwiches.
Express. We
That's
had
right.
Miss Dave's store, which is Mike Hargrove's grandmother. It was on down there where the credit union is now, the Omaha Credit Union. That was the area that Miss Dave's store. We could ride our bicycles there, but we went to the snack bar at the hospital to get our snacks.
I believe
we
it.
didn't have a.
And they had that little flat grill, and we cook a hamburger, and yeah.
Yep. That was a big deal.
I always thought it was cool when you walked in and y'all had that frosted glass
Yes.
where the offices were right there when you walked in.
Yes.
Sorry, it made I like the house. I can still remember the phone number,
And that's
it's
where
still
the
used
pictures,
today.
The pictures were on that wall.
Right when you first walked in, past the waiting room, past the business office, and the gift shop was right there too.
It was. Yep.
There was that huge wall, and you went to the right to go down to the rooms, or you went right and then left back to the OR. And I can't. What was left? I never went
was,
left.
OB used to be down there at one point. in
That's
time.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's where I OB'd in there a couple of times.
And I was so glad when they built the new building that they saved the when you speak of signs, and I can't think of a better word, another word for it. This hospital is dedicated to the service of mankind
Right.
and the principles
Yeah.
of
Oh, yes.
big.
a great physician to all
I was
humanity.
glad of that too.
Yeah, I was so glad that made it to the new building.
And somebody, I can't remember her name. I want to say it was a kick lighter lady, or maybe the Flowers that used to feed the cats out front. My mom was always about
That was
cats.
Mary Flowers.
Mary Flowers.
Mary
okay.
Flowers from Odom.
That's
Yep.
what Mama was always, when we'd walk up and there'd be a little dish or something sitting and you'd see something scurry. Mom's like, I guess Miss Flowers is still feeding the cats,
Yep.
So,
Patsy Aspinwall
Yes.
and Nanny O'Dean Lightsey. Nanny
Yes.
was Annette worked for Wayne Family Practice. Annette Jones. She wasn't Dr. McGahee's nurse though, was she? I remember Gwinnell in Wayne Family Practice, and my sister-in-law Jan. She worked for Dr. McGahee.
I think they all floated through the hospital at some point.
Yeah,
Ended up in those physicians' offices, if I remember correctly.
and that there wasn't a hospitalist.
Oh, heavens, no.
no.
They did
No.
their own doctrine. And you would be in the office at Wayne, because I went to Dr. Phillips until he let me down and quit. I don't know why he didn't wait just for me. But you'd be in the
Well, I
room
told
and they
Dr.
would
Hyde.
say, Dr. McGahee, hospital lines for you. They'd make that big announcement. And Dr. McGahee always had medicine in his pocket.
Yeah.
and if he wanted to give you something, he'd find it. He'd find what he wanted you to have. He'd give you the prescription, but he'd give you the pills too.
You know, nowadays HIPAA is such a big thing, and I mean, HIPAA is some serious stuff. But back in the day, in that old building, 9 o'clock every Monday through Friday was the hospital report. And I was in charge of the hospital report. So I had to call the radio station at 9 o'clock and go room by room and tell them Mark's in room 402, and Dr. McGahee, he is his physician, and he had his gallbladder out last night. He's
That's
gonna
great.
be here for
I
a
love
few days,
that.
so y'all come and visit. It was the biggest hit of anybody in this listening audience, and literally you could stand at the front windows of the hospital and just watch the parking lot fill up and people toting food in.
I would
and
love to. That would be
They were
awesome.
coming. They were waiting for that 9 o'clock hospital report. If you did something like that now, you'd be under the prison.
Yes, you were.
Daggum HIPAA.
That's hilarious. I love that.
Yep,
That's community doctoring right there.
Oh, yeah.
that's
That
right.
is good. So,
Oh, the
I
the
can't
community
remember.
was furious when we stopped doing that. How are we going to find out that?
well, they used to have the community reports in the newspaper. You know, they always had Oakland News and
Yeah.
Mount Pleasant News and the Girl I Knew.
Madrid
So that was-
Springs. I remember all
somebody
that.
went
Yeah.
to visit somebody on Sunday afternoon and all that kind of stuff. So those were the good old days. I know HIPAA is a big thing because my child won't tell me anything when the scanner, the beeper goes off, and I'll say Daniel won't tell anything. It's so frustrating because I want
Yep.
I want the lowdown.
She likes to know.
I do. I'm pretty nosy.
Well, she needs to call your people, let them know.
So anyway, people will call me and say, "Where's the ambulance going?" I don't know. I don't know where the ambulance is going or what's going on in Scriven. 3 fire trucks and a deputy car just went
You're supposed
down
to know that.
Hortense Road, and
Supposed to
I
know
don't
that.
know. I do not know. So,
Yeah.
all righty.
Well, real quick, and I've been trying to figure out her name since I was little. There was a lady at Wayne Family Practice, and Mom always was working, so my godmother would take me. I had to get allergy shots, and
She's a hypochondriac.
I'm not a hypochondriac.
She really is. She's always sick.
I was Doctor. What's his name? The allergist that retired. Start with a B.
Here,
No, the one's the
Dr.
man.
Hazeman.
Hazeman. I wasn't sorry. I was thinking Batista. Yes, Hazeman.
Everybody went to Hazeman.
I was one of his best patients. But anyway, they would send the stuff to us, and then I'd have to take it with us to Wayne Family Practice because Mama was busy, couldn't give me my shot. And there was a black lady who was, I don't know if she was a CNA, an LPN, an RM, what she was, but she worked right there. I'd go to the lab area, and she would give me my shot. Her name was either Rose or Ruby. I can't remember. It started with an R. And she would give me a balloon every
Aw,
time.
Sweet.
And I've been meaning to ask Mary Stanfield because I know Mary worked there. She's the one that always used to do X-rays if I broke myself.
Yes, she did.
But I can't remember
I
her
don't know who
name.
that is.
But it started. I just know it started with an R. I won't say her last name was Jackson. I could be wrong. But she was like the sweetest woman. She was scary at first because I didn't know who she was, and she was, I mean, older, bigger lady, and she'd say, "Come on now, you're gonna be fine." And I'm like, "Yes, ma'am," you know. And from then on, every time I was like, "Can I have my red balloon?" She was great.
You want me to send her a text? Mary's not real good with technology. She might not answer for a while, so I'll have to get back with you on who
That's
that
fine.
was.
That's fine.
And I know Gwinnell was the office manager, and I don't
Gwinnell,
remember
I'd
who
say
worked.
that.
I don't remember. I remember Annette Jones was there, and I know Tara Whitaker's gonna fuss at me because she was telling me all about her daddy, how he got here after World War II, and they were in Augusta maybe, and he got drafted and all that kind of stuff. So Tara, we're gonna talk about your daddy, but that's all I remember you told me. So there you go.
That's another
I did
episode.
remember to say that part. So, and she liked
He
her
was
daddy a whole bunch.
wonderful
So,
to everybody.
Anyway, I'm gonna have to figure. I remember
Yes.
her, but I don't remember her name. I remember the first time I had a problem with my heart, and Dr. McGahee had me in there in the room, and left the door open. And I thought, I don't want the door open. I don't want these people walking by and wondering what
So
I'm.
you didn't want people to know you in the hospital, but
I
you wanted to
didn't.
know
I
that they
didn't.
are.
That's right.
So,
Yeah.
I love Dr. McGahee. I love Dr. Phillips. I didn't have much to do with Dr. Purser. Who was the other one in Wayne?
Cal.
County?
Elliot.
Calvin
Dr.
Elliott.
I forgot about Dr. Elliott.
Yeah, he
So,
was
anyway.
he removed several sets of stitches on me.
So, all righty.
not a hit
Well, what do you
mustache.
think?
Hypochondriac.
Well, Miss Emma Lou, you got anything else?
I
Any
don't.
last parting words?
Not that I'm aware of. No, I just so much appreciate y'all letting me tell you about Toddtown.
Well, I'm so excited that you could share and enlighten Courtney
Yes.
and Miss Royal on
Now that I know where it
Shed's
is.
Dairy. I know I'm excited.
And I found out Mr. Cameron's first name. I thought it was Helium
Aubrey.
Foot.
Yes,
And the Cameron Road is named for him,
that's
I
right.
assume.
Exactly. It surely is.
So I
He
do
let-
have
He
experience.
let me suck that
so-
bottle at the age of 5 on that school bus, sitting in his lap.
And you had to ride from your house to Jessup to come back to Empire School.
That was the 3rd grade.
Third
Yep.
grade.
Yep, that was the only year we did that.
We were messed up with bus routes even back then. So there you go. So,
Yep.
all righty.
Well, Miss Emily, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you all for having me.
I love that you came.
sincerely
to share,
appreciate it.
to share your
Just
stories.
Run down memory lane.
Yeah,
Yes.
and that's what I love about this podcast is because once you start talking, you've got mysteries revealed, things that people didn't know. Now people can talk about them. You're looking for another one. You've solved one. It's great to get people together. So
I think what y'all are doing with this is absolutely phenomenal. I had no clue. I just walked in the door and said, okay, well, here I am. But yeah, what y'all are doing is phenomenal.
Well, thank
Really.
you.
Well, I love it, and I thank you so much for giving your time and coming.
You're
very
And I'll
welcome.
see you at work
Thank
in
you.
the morning.
I call it friends with microphones. Friends with
microphones. There you go.
All righty. Well, we're out of here, and we did good. Thank you for listening, and tune in next time.
We hope you enjoyed today's Mad About Wayne podcast. For more information on the Wayne County, Georgia Historical Society, please visit our Facebook page. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast so you receive notifications when a new episode is released. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you again soon. Remember, we're mad about Wayne.